Good morning, crafty friends. Happy Friday. It's March 25th, and this is Flosstube number 75, I think, if I'm counting correctly. How are you? We're almost at the end of March. How are we at the end of March already? Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. This month has been. Let me start out by saying I'm feeling much better this week. I realized after I posted last week's video that it was probably pretty, manic, I think might be the right word, maybe. And I don't say that with any flippancy. I'm not being flip about that. I was very stressed last week, and I think that that really showed, especially based on comments. Thank you all for your lovely comments, wishing me well and hoping that this week was much less stressful. I appreciate all of your care and attention. I really do. I do apologize if that was a little much last week. I think I was just barely holding on by a thread, and I was like, let me get all these things done. Fortunately, I won't say the weekend was relaxing. I wouldn't describe the weekend as relaxing. The weekend was productive, but it was not stressfully productive. I didn't feel like I was flipping out. Like others that I talked to over the weekend may feel like I was still stressing and anxious. Rachel. Anyway, I have a tendency to be very intense when I'm speaking about things sometimes, and I don't feel like I'm being intense, but I am being intense. Anyway, I the weekend was productive. I got a lot of things done and off my plate that I've been trying to get off my plate for a while. Special thanks to Heike and Rachel for hanging out with me on Zoom on Saturday and a little bit on Sunday as well to help me kind of get not motivated exactly, but I have issues with executive dysfunction, or issues with executive function, which are called executive dysfunction. Which is it's part of the ADHD, and basically one of the biggest ways that that presents for me is that I have trouble getting started. It's not that I have a lack of motivation; it's that there's a disconnect between that part of my brain that says let's do the thing and the part of my brain that actually gets me up to do the thing. So this presents itself, or it used to. It doesn't so much anymore. It does sometimes, but the biggest way it presented itself for years and years was I'd be sitting on the couch and in my brain I'm screaming at myself, get up and do the thing, get up and do the thing, get up and do the thing. You really should get up and do the thing. Why don't you get up and do the thing? This would be the internal monologue all day long, all weekend long, and then I would sit on the couch and do nothing. And I thought it was a sign of laziness. Turns out it's not laziness, it's that my brain is not doing what I need it to do. So, anyway, so I have issues with executive function. Sometimes that is there's a lot of parts of executive function. Some of it is organizational, task prioritization, different kinds of things. But one of the biggest issues, one of the biggest things I struggle with is task initiation, just getting started on the thing. So yeah, I was having that problem last weekend, and I really needed to get started because I needed to do the things. And thankfully, Rachel and Heiko were there for me. They're always there for me, but this was an especially there for me moment because Heiko was like, okay, well let's get on Zoom and let's help you do the things, and it wasn't really that they that they did anything other than just kind of being there and body doubling for me. But that was really important and very helpful. Come here. I don't want you standing on that stuff. Okay, you want to just be held? Okay. Luna likes to be held. So yeah, so last weekend was good from a lot of perspectives, but it wasn't restful. I wouldn't say that I rested, but I got a lot of things done. One of those things was finally getting all of the pictures taken, getting all of the fabrics serged, getting all the things done so that I could finally get fabrics set up to show to my Patreon, or to my patrons on Patreon. So that post went up Wednesday evening for my patrons to get first crack at my brand new hand dyed fabrics. Oh goodness, now we're going up the shoulder. Okay. Oh, ow. Ugh. She's not a small cat. This is uncomfortable. Where are you going? Please don't go to the shelf. Come back down. Come back down. Come here. You gonna go off to the side? If I give you my arm, will you? Where are you going? You're gonna go back to the table where I didn't want you. Okay, can you? No, ma'am. Ma'am. No. Come here. Ugh. Okay, she's gonna do what she's gonna do. Yeah, so that post went up for patrons Wednesday evening. It will stay up for patrons until this coming Wednesday evening. I'll probably start invoicing over the weekend for the folks that have already claimed fabrics. And then whatever is left over, which at the moment seems to be about half of the stock that I had, will go up on the website next week. So I'm planning to release several things next week. I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. So in addition to the fabrics that I have available that will go up for sale, I have some new stuff, new releases from Nashville. Not a ton because just not a ton. I have new Michelle Bendy stuff. Bendy Stitchy design stuff that will hopefully go up at the same time. New colors, oh, that's what I didn't pull. The new colors of Dinky Dyes. I have a very limited stock on hand because of reasons. I was only able to purchase a very small amount of stock of the new colors, but I will be setting up a pre-order listing on the website so that if you are interested in getting those colors and you haven't gotten them yet, you can order them from me. And I will get more of those in a couple of weeks and ship them out. So new Dinky Dyes colors, new Bendy Stitchy designs. I have some Summer House Stitch Works. And at the moment, that's probably what will be going up on the website. And I'll show you more of that stuff in a little bit. So, so yeah, I'm getting things together, which is exciting. I have plans to do some more stuff this weekend. We'll see how that goes. I have gotten some model stitching done in the last week. So I don't have really any cross stitching to show you, no actual stitching to show you this week because I can't show you the model stitch. But I have gotten a decent amount of work done on that, and I hope to do more tonight and the rest of this weekend as well. Probably the next few days I'll focus just on my model stitch and then wrap up the end of March with hopefully a little bit of mindfulness that I haven't actually done yet. So WIP goes probably out the window this week or this month, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. It is what it is. I've gotten a lot accomplished with WIPGO already this year, so I'm okay with kind of putting a pin in WIPGO for right now. Definitely not giving up on it for the year. That's not at all what's happening. Just February and March, not a great time for WIPGO for me. We'll get back into it in April and May. There's going to be plenty of time for WIPGO. It's all good. I'm not stressing about it, and that's the point, because it's not meant to, you're not meant to stress about WIPGO. It's just meant to be a motivator, an additional thing to help you work on things that you want to work on. So this particular month, it's just not happening, and I'm okay with that, and it's fine. So yeah, so no, not a lot of stitching to show you this week. I do have some knitting that I'm very excited about, so we'll talk about that. And yeah, that's what we have. So this week is going to be, the cats are, why do they get into stuff as soon as I start filming? Like, I don't even understand what this is. So yeah, this week's going to be a little different than the usual Flosstube because we're going to talk about some stitching, but it's mostly going to be showing you stuff. It's going to be showing you charts and things. And we're going to talk about knitting, and I don't have any stitching to show you. So it'll be more of a crafty time than like specifically cross-stitching time. So I hope you're okay with that. I'll put the knitting off till the end just because if you're not into knitting, then you can just skip after after the cross stitch talk is done. So yeah, I had hoped to have like a best new thing. I was totally going to steal that from Michelle this week. But the charts didn't come in yet. So I have ordered the chart and silk packs for the two designs that I model stitched for Tempting Tangles, and I really hope to have them in so that I could show you, because those are going to go up on the website as well as soon as they come in, and I wanted to show them to you because I'm so excited about them. These model stitches premiered at Nashville a couple of weeks ago. They were physically in the room with Tempting Tangles. They were what she displayed for the sale of Enjoy the Sunshine and Sempre Avante. So I did the model stitches for both of those pieces. So anybody who's watching who was at Nashville, if you saw those two pieces, that's my stitching. That's my stitching. And I'm very excited to share that with the world at this point. But my charts haven't come in. There was a bit of a snafu with my Dinky Dyes order, and the charts were not included with the rest of the package. They're on their way, but they're somewhere between Las Vegas and here. They were scanned as leaving Las Vegas 2 days ago and haven't been scanned in again yet. So they'll probably be here in a day or two. But I was hoping to have them in hand so I could show you. I could show you the things. At some point, I'll probably put together something, maybe even just a slideshow, showing you how, not how, but showing you the progression of both of those. Because now that they've been released, I can share all my pictures, and I have lots of pictures, let me tell you. So yeah, I'm very excited. It is a best new thing. It's fantastic. I love that these are out in the world and people can buy them now. I'm just sad that I can't actually show it to you yet. So soon. So let's talk about, we'll finish I keep looking around at the stuff I have around me. So actually, rather than finishing the shop update, let's talk about what's going on in April. So Beck, one of my fantastic friends here on Flosstube and Twitch and all the places, Beck is a fantastic person and supporter and just all around awesome human. And she is doing a birthday sal, and if I remember correctly, it's Beck's Cat Kingdom sal. In fact, let me look that up on I meant to look that up before. Let me look it up on Instagram so that I know what I'm talking about. I just want to make sure I'm saying, there's a couple of different hashtags, so let me let you know what they are. Okay. So the main hashtag is Beck's, BECS, Beck's Cat Kingdom Sal. And then there's also Cat Kingdom Sal and a Sal Never Dies, which I think is fantastic. So as you might have guessed, Beck would like us to stitch cats for her birthday. So the only rule is it needs to have a cat. It needs to have a cat. So because I didn't have a whole lot of stitching to talk about or show you today, I decided to put together a very small sampling of charts that you might be interested in that have cats. So if you're looking for something that has a cat, you don't have anything yet that has a cat, here's some ideas for you. First and foremost, and Beck has already shared this on her Instagram. So this is one of the autumn releases from Lindy Stitches from last year. And as you can see, we've got Franken Cat down here. So this is Halloween Tales, Lindy Stitches. That's something else that will be going up on the website very soon, hopefully with this release next week. I have kits for this, which include the fabric for both charts, as well as all of the flosses. Now this is, it is charted in weeks, which I don't use and I don't sell. So I have done a conversion for you. So there is a color and cotton conversion included for the specialty flosses, and then all the DMC. So I have the kits. I just have to list them. So that's a thing. That's coming. But this is also a cat. It's a cat chart. So if that's something you're interested in, and I pulled these primarily from the shop stash. I shouldn't say stash, just shop stock. So the things that I'm showing you are available on either my Etsy page or my website, or both in some cases. This is Darling and Whimsy. If you have not had enough of Darling and Whimsy, and who really could have enough of Darling and Whimsy, seriously, we've all been stitching Quirky Quakers, which are fantastic, but if you want to continue stitching Darling and Whimsy, but do something a little different, here is Plant Pots with 3 little cats. It's super cute. This is another release from the Autumn Expo. Super cute. So that's some more cats for you. The Blue Flower released Cozy Christmas Cat. And I'm not sure when, this is a relatively new release, but I can't recall if this was part of her Expo releases. It's definitely not Nashville. It's previous to Nashville, but I can't remember exactly. But there's Christmas Cozy Cat, or Cozy Christmas Cat. So if you're in more of a holiday winter mood, even though we're moving into spring, there's that. We have some fantastic options from Michelle Bendy, of course. We have Cleopatra, which is fantastic and awesome. And we also have Halloween Soiree Cat, this is one that I've been intending to stitch for a while. So I'm probably going to get this one started at some point in April because yes, though I probably will do a bit of a color conversion because I really like purple and black for Halloween. So I might do the bow tie and the coins around the border. I might do this in a different color because. But yes, so here are two fantastic options from Michelle Bendy. There's also a brand new design from Michelle that has a cat in it. We'll see that in a few minutes. But yeah, so Cleopatra Halloween Soiree Cat from Michelle Bendy, two of my favorites. And also, if you're looking for something bigger to start, I want to remind you of this and this is the print, this is not the chart, but this was, I had this on hand, easy to grab, and so I thought I would grab this instead of just putting up an image. Don't want you to forget about the fantasticness that comes from Dee and Kari. So this is, what was it called? Halloween, wow. My brain just completely blanked on it. It's Hex House. Halloween Hex House? Hex something? Wow. Okay. We're going to pretend like I know what this is called. Regardless, you can find this on Kari's website, Uncanny Kari. You can find this on her website. This is another fabulous collaboration from the two of them. This print is of Kari's original artwork, and then Dee took this fabulous artwork and turned it into a cross stitch, and you can see it qualifies because there's a little black cat right there. So, and this is a fantastic chart. It's larger. It's on the larger side. She's a big girl, but it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And if you're feeling in a more like Halloween spooky, that is words. If you're feeling spookier than you are, winterish, this is a fantastic start for April. So, definitely check that out if you're interested. This is one that I've been meaning to start for a while too. So I might also start this in April. We'll see how many starts I'm really looking to do in April. But I love this print. It's fantastic. What else was I going to say about this? I was going to say something else. My brain has just completely bleh. But anyway, Dee and Kari, Dee's 20 Stitches and Uncanny Kari. This is one of their collaboration charts, and you should never forget about them. They're fantastic. So this is another fantastic option. I think I've already seen somebody talking about starting this one or working on this one for Beck's Cat Kingdom Sal. So I think it's fantastic. You should definitely check it out if you have not checked it out already. So this is not an exhaustive list of cat charts. This is just what I could easily grab in about 5 minutes. So if you don't have a cat chart yet, there's some ideas. Check out Beck's Instagram words at Elaine's Stuff, I believe. Where did I put my phone? I cannot function today. Okay. I'm in a better mood, but my brain is not working, so that's fun. Yes, at Elaine's Stuff. I'll put a thing down there. Follow her on Instagram if you want more suggestions, because she's shown some stuff that she's stitching. Follow the hashtags if you want to see what everybody else is stitching. I'm definitely going to join in because I really appreciate Beck and all of the support that she offers, and just the person she is in our community. It's fantastic. So I'm definitely going to be supporting and stitching for her birthday. So I hope you will too. Support her and join in on the hashtag. Besides the fact that who doesn't love a cat, right? We all love cats. Most of us love cats. So that's a fantastic thing that's going on in April. So I'm talking very fast. Okay, so let's talk about what else is coming in the shop update, hopefully next week. I keep saying next week because I'm trying to convince myself it's going to happen by next week. I can do this. Okay, so fantastic new things that are coming. Let me see. Oh, speaking of cats, this is one of Michelle's brand new releases from Nashville. This is Lucky Cat. This is a tiny little friend. So this is 35 by 48. So if you're looking for something super quick and fast to stitch, super quick and small to stitch, this is a fantastic choice. I think the digital versions will be available on Michelle's page soon. I think she's getting ready to release them digitally, but print copies are also available. Super cute, super small, another kitty that's coming to the shop update. Also, this is my favorite of Michelle's new releases. This is the vase from Thrace, and this is one that I'm definitely going to be starting in the next couple of months. I may save it for May, I have this thing about stitching flowers in May. I don't know why. I guess spring showers, May flowers, I don't know. May and flowers go hand in hand in my brain, so I'm probably going to save this as a May new start. But look how fabulous this is. I love it. It's based on an antique sampler that Michelle had, or that she found. And it is a more squared off squatty version. I shouldn't say squatty. It's more squared off than the original version that she had, because that one was stitched in odd numbers of stitches and stuff. So it's a modified version, but it's gorgeous. I love it. Especially these pinks and blues. They're fantastic. This is, it is primarily charted words in Dinky Dyes with one Gloriana, and Rainbow Gallery Petite Treasure Braid. So I'm like super excited about that. Very excited. So that's coming to the shop. That's one I'll be stitching soon. We also have 1905 Bird, and for 1905 Bird, I actually have available the Sulky thread packs. So 1905 Bird and the coordinating Sulky pack will be available in the shop hopefully next week. Oh, speaking of coordinating, I forgot about this. So Vase from Thrace also has coordinating thread drops. Michelle designed and had these made, and they go right with the Vase from Thrace, and they're really nice. They're not exactly what I was expecting, because I was expecting like your standard like paper, like almost like business cardstock, but this is actually like really durable. It feels sort of like a thick plastic, not thick plastic. It feels very durable. I don't know. It feels laminated, I guess, is what I'm saying. So it's not quite as thick as a credit card, but it's nice and thick. You can kind of hear, and very durable because it's sort of a laminated cardstock kind of situation. So these will be nice and durable for all your stitching. And I think probably, I have not tried it obviously because these are not mine, these are for sale, but I have a feeling you could probably put dry erase marker on the back to write what colors and stuff, and then just wipe it off when you're done so you could reuse them for other projects. So those are also coming to the shop. And last but absolutely not least, and Dee just started a sal with some folks. This is 1844 Ladyman. So there's a Ladyman sal that just started, and I will have these in the shop. This is a fantastic chart, and it is officially a trans chart. Dee decided. Dee and the rest of the community decided. So this is fantastic. You can jump in on the sal with Dee and various others. I forget what the hashtag is other than Ladyman sal, but this is an awesome chart. It's so awesome. It's just all the fantasticness, and I'm so excited to see people get so excited about this. And this is charted in DMC, and there are some beads. You can add some Mill Hill beads to it too. So that's pretty awesome. I love those funky butterflies. I'm quite the lady man, 1844, and some awesomeness there. So those are all coming to the shop very, very soon. If not next week, then very, very quickly in April. So all of that stuff is coming. In addition to that, I have a few new charts from Summer House Stitch Works, because I actually, it's one of the few designers I actually have an auto ship with. So I have new designs from, okay, this one is one. From Summer House Stitch Works. So the 2022 Fragments in Time is based on some Susquehanna Valley samplers. Oh wow, I'm blanking on the designer's name. Beth Seal, yes. So Beth has taken some antique samplers from the Susquehanna Valley, which is Pennsylvania-ish. I think it spans a number of states, but primarily in Pennsylvania. She's taken some antique samplers and has adapted them for new charts, and that's going to be the theme for this year's Fragments in Time. So this is part one, part two. So the first two parts are available. You can also, as usual, get a larger frame that goes around all of these pieces for free on her website. So parts 1 and 2 available. I love this little Actually, I love these both for different reasons. Like, I love the style of this one. It looks very like anime foodish to me. But this one, I love the little antique birds and the heart and everything. So those are pretty awesome. I'm generally a fan of the Fragments in Time. Sometimes the themes are not my bag, but so far I'm liking those. We also have Delft Blues from Beth Seal at Summerhouse Stitchworks, which is a really pretty blue vase with some flowers. Nice small stitch. This is, what is this? It doesn't tell me the specific stitch count. That's quite a nice piece. And then Spring Awakens, which is a gorgeous multicolored bird design. I love the little umbrella. It's super cute. And then here's another cat for you, actually. I'm not sure if there's going to be more animals in this series, but currently there are 2 animals. These are the hello and goodbye charts. You get to stitch the front and the back half of the animal. And there are instructions on how to turn this into a needle book. So it's super, super cute. And I can probably show you. So on the back are instructions for how to do all that stuff, which is pretty fantastic. So these are each 97 by 67. So each of those stitches is 97 by 67. And they're super adorable. So if you're, again, this is a dog, but if you're looking for a cat to stitch, here's another cat you can stitch. And these are coming to the shop very soon. So that's all of the shop updatey goodness. I did forget to pick up the Dinky Dyes new colors. Yes, ma'am, let's not step on the brand new charts, please. Let's not. Let's just not. Okay? How about not? Because I would prefer that you did not. Let me clear a space so that she can stand on the table, because she's going to do it anyway. Okay. Just there. Stay off of the stuff. Okay. So, that is shop updates. That's some cats for you. That's some shop updates. Let me see. I can show you my knitting. Actually, I'll show you a couple of purchases real quick. I haven't shown you purchases lately, primarily because all I've been getting is my monthly clubs, and I just haven't bothered showing those. Not that I don't like them, I just haven't shown them. So I do want to show you my fortnight fabrics for this year. So far, and I think they're running a little bit behind still. So we're almost at the end of March. I have January and February, so they haven't shipped out March yet. I think they're suffering some growing pains. The fortnight guys are, which completely understandable. I'm not going to judge. As a small business trying to get my shit together, right? I totally understand. But yeah, just stating the fact I have January and February, and they've generally been coming at the beginning of the next month. And I don't know. Okay, I think this is January's pack, because this is the one I've already opened. I'm getting this year their ornament club, which is 3 ornament cuts. And I'm getting it in 32 count linen, because I found that I didn't care for the 32 count Lugana I was getting, which is not them, it's just the fabric. The fabric's funky. So this time I'm getting linen, which I really like. And y'all know I love small cuts. I'm a huge fan of small cuts. These are great for just stitching random stuff. And I don't feel like when I have a fat quarter of something, I feel like I need to use the entire thing, or I feel like it has to be something special, or, you know, there's all these things that go on in my brain. But when it's a small cut, I can use it for just anything, and I don't quibble over it too awfully much. It's like, oh, that's a cool color, let me put this on it. So this is my January pack. So we got this nice like suede color, which matches Luna. It's coordinating with Luna. This beautiful, it looks more blue on camera, but it's greener in person. Nice light greenish kind of color. And then this fabulous kind of warm gray. Really, really nice. Where are we going, huh? What are you doing? What are you doing? The cats are really determined today. This is This has been a thing lately where like we just are desperate to be in Jesse's lap. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't understand. Okay, just trying to get these back together so I can fold them up. So 3 nice little cuts. I think these are 9 by 9. I forget. It says in the email, it doesn't say on the little card. But yeah, so those are fabulous. I'm loving this so far. I have not used any of them yet because I've been using my own dyed fabrics. But one of these, if I had not had a brownish kind of color, one of these would have been fabulous for the Yeti. And then here are February's colors. So we have a similar but different. We're going to notice that there's kind of a theme. So this is similar but not quite the same brown. It's a lighter brown than the first one from January. Trying to get the, and then we've got, this one's really cool. So this is like a blue-red mix, which is nice. Just lay them on top of each other. And then this one, still coming off a little blue. This is very, very similar, but I think it's greener. I think it is brighter, has more green in it than the other piece. But yeah, so similar but different colors, which is good. So they're kind of in the same color families, but we are getting different stuff. I wouldn't want to get the exact same colors every month. That would be kind of a bummer. But so far I'm liking it. But I love getting small cuts like this. I love buying grab bags and stuff like that because I like to do small stitches and I like to just grab whatever fabric. This is also not necessarily a monthly club, but getting grab bags and small cuts is a great way to try a fabric you're not used to. So if you had never tried 40 count, getting a grab bag with some 40 count or even 56 count, or really high count stuff, linen, would be a good way to try it out without committing to a massive piece, right? So yeah, I'm enjoying those. And also the super exciting thing that I got recently, this is from Evertote. So Michelle collaborated with Bendy Stitchy collaborated with Evertote recently, and this was just released at the beginning of March. And I got the bag set with the flosses and the chart. I don't have a paper chart, so I can't show you the pictures, but Michelle just showed it on one of her recent Flosstubes. But that's the bag charm, the zipper pull. Super cute. And oh no, I'm gonna be foiled by a knot. What are we doing here? Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna cut it. Look away, y'all. I'm using my embroidery scissors. Okay. So I got the bag set, and I'm very excited. Y'all can see I haven't even opened it yet. I love the way that they wrap their stuff. It feels like a little present every time you're getting something. Assuming you can get into it and you're not having troubles like I do. Okay. So, yay! Okay, so here are the flosses. These flosses are fantastic. So these are all the called for flosses for the 2 charts. There's a Chilean flamingo and a punk flamingo, like a 90s, 80s punk flamingo. And these are all the colors. They're awesome. I'm not going to take them out of the package because they're too nicely done. Here's the little notions pouch. I love that Caroline always includes a notions pouch with her bags. So there's the notions pouch. I like to look inside and just see what the coordinating fabric is. Ooh, I forgot. There's a needle minder. There's a special needle minder just for the kit. Super cute. So the Chilean flamingo looks similar to this flamingo. It's very pretty. And I think these are too big to, I'm gonna put them in there anyway. So that's the notions pouch. And then here is the project bag. Look at it. Look at it. Look at the pretty flamingos. Like, flamingos are not my favorite bird, but they are kind of fantastic. I love them. And we've got this nice kind of neutral fabric inside. I love Caroline's bags. I have so many of these, like I can't get enough of them. They're just awesome. She makes them they're so well made. But yeah, oh, it's pretty. Yeah, so I was very excited to be able to get in on this because I love a good collaboration. I really do. And especially I love Leo and Roxy flosses. I love Evertote bags. I love I love Michelle's designs. So I was very excited to get that. So yeah, that is one of my recent purchases, which there have not been many. The other things I have purchased, I did get D and Kari's Spring Fling box, and I am so excited, y'all. I'm so excited. There's gonna be a virtual retreat to go along with that, and I am so here for it. Oh my gosh, I cannot even. So I'm very, very excited for that, and I cannot wait. Cannot wait. Also, I purchased the Fangirl Fibers. I think it's Haunted America box. It's the 31-day box, the stitchy one that comes with charts from like 5 designers, including Betty Stitchy Designs, D and Kari, and I think I can't remember Park Hopper Bart. I think he's in there, as well as Mama Witch Stitch and maybe the Laurel Witch as well. Like some fantastic spooky designers. So I'm so here for it. And also, and I purchased this a long time ago, but in July I have the Pokemon Stitchy box coming from Fangirl Fibers, so I'm super excited about that. Lots of good stuff coming, but I am significantly pulling back on the amount of stuff that I'm buying. I bought so much stuff last year, it was way too much. I'm trying to be more selective, and not necessarily more selective, but I'm just trying to be, well, I am trying to be more selective. I'm trying to not buy all of the things just because everything is ooh shiny. I have not yet decided what yarn box or boxes I will buy for the winter season. I'm gonna buy at least one. Y'all know I'll buy at least one yarn box. I might allow myself 2 yarn boxes for the winter season. I don't know that I'll do any stitchy boxes. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see what comes out. But now is Advent season, or countdown calendar season for the winter time. Now is the time most dyers are putting out their pre-orders. So I'll have to make some decisions soon, or possibly I'll just have to miss out because I don't really have the funds to be buying a ton of stuff right now. So I'm trying to be more discerning about the things that I purchase. But I can't have a holiday season. I can't have a winter season without at least one countdown box of yarn. I just can't. It's not a thing I can do. I have to be able to get at least one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, significantly fewer purchases this year. You're not going to see a ton of unboxings and stuff from me because I'm just not buying that much stuff. So yeah, what unboxings and unwrappings and things I do, I'll probably save for Patreon, to have some extra special stuff just for those folks. So yeah, I think that's all the stitchy stuff I have. So I'm going to talk about yarn. I'm going to talk about knitting. So if you're not into yarn and knitting, feel free to have a great weekend anyway. I have the best week and day and weekend that's available to you. But feel free to skip this part if you're not into knitting and yarn. If you are into it, let's get into it. So, because I need to get this wrapped up and get on to other things, unfortunately. So I did a little bit of knitting on my pinions. I tried to knit this on stream on Monday. That did not go over well because Loki decided he needed to be the center of attention. I got a little bit of knitting done, but most of the knitting that I have done I did off stream. So I think the last time I showed this, because I think did I show this last week or the week before? I put in some garter stitch rows, which you can see here. And then now I'm into section 16 of 20. So we're getting pretty close to a finish here. And I really like section 16 and 17 are very similar. So 16 has these nifty pull the yarn over the knit stitches every single right side row, whereas section 17 will only have them every couple of right side rows. So it'll be similar but different. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be really, really nice. I enjoy doing that kind of stitch on a knit. So I've got that going for pinions. And I really am kind of thinking about trying to get this done fairly soon because Heike is looking to start Slipstravaganza soon, and I feel like I want to start Slipstravaganza with her. She's trying to finish up a shawl that she's been working on, Breathe and Hope from Casapinka. And Slipstravaganza is from Stephen West. And while I am not going to set myself a goal of finishing shawlography from Stephen West before I start another Stephen West, I do think I want to finish at least one of my whips, my knitting whips, before I start a new one. And that's probably going to be pinions because it's the closest to being done. So we'll see. I may not hold myself to that. It depends on what needles I need for Slipstravaganza. And part of the reason I'm so excited and so ready for Slipstravaganza is because I bought this yarn last year for Slipstravaganza, but I was too intimidated. I was way too intimidated to start a Stephen West. But now I've started a Stephen West, and I'm halfway through a Stephen West pattern, and he really does make it pretty easy. Why is everything so fuzzy? Focus, please, because the sun came out. I think that's why. So everything's kind of blown out. So I purchased these yarns last year specifically for Slipstravaganza, and so when Heike started talking about starting it, I was like, it's the perfect time. It's the perfect time. So I'm all set up. This is working really well. So I haven't talked about it specifically, but I really am trying to craft as much from stash this year as possible. So I really haven't been buying things specifically for projects. I haven't even really bought, I don't think I've even bought any DMC this year. Because I think if I haven't had DMC, I've just looked for colors that were similar from other stash that I have. But yeah, pretty much every project that I've started this year, I have been using things that I already had on hand. And it's very exciting that I have all of this ready to go for such a big project. But yeah, so yeah, I'm very, very excited. I love these colors. So Asylum Fibers, this is a kit I believe she put together specifically for this. I feel like she did that on purpose. I'm trying to remember because it's been so long since I bought it. But I do think that she designed these colors, this 4-color pack, to go for Slipstravaganza or something similar. And then this colorway is from Forbidden Fiber Co. And I think it's called Black Dahlia. So this will be my main color. This will be the color that goes in between all of these gorgeous jewel tones that you see here. The texture is a little bit different because I think this is like a 4-ply sock yarn or 4-ply fingering. It's a twisted sock. So I wonder if this is, hopefully this is, okay, this is 80/20. I'm just making sure. I try to, even if I don't get the texture the same, I try to make sure they have about the same, my different yarns have about the same makeup of fibers, just so that there's the same stretchiness or anti-stretchiness. So this is an 80/20 superwash merino and nylon combination, this twisted sock, and this is also an 80/20 nylon and wool merino mix. So they're both sock yarns, but this is less twisty. It's a slightly different texture. Because of how everything's going to work together, I think it'll be okay. I don't know if I would necessarily want to have different textured yarns for a lot of patterns, like especially at Casapinka, where the yarns really are playing with each other in a lot of different ways and different combinations. But for this particular project, this is going to be framing these colors. So I think I'm totally okay with the fact that there's different textures. I think it'll be completely fine because these are really going to be like pops in the middle of all of like an ocean of this. So I think it's going to be fabulous. If you've seen Rachel working on her Slipstravaganza with the yarns that Heike dyed for her, you'll have an idea of what I'm talking about. So I think this is going to be fabulous. And hopefully by the time Heike is ready to work on it, I will also be ready to work on it. Because it's very, very exciting. I love the look of this shawl. The way this one looks, the way that it all played out. was the main reason that I decided to jump in on the MCAL for shawlography this year. And then it turned out that I didn't like some of the designs of shawlography as much as I thought I might. So but you know, live and learn, it's fine. So probably for future Stephen West projects, I will, or mystery knit-alongs, I'll wait until they're completely released and then decide if I'm going to jump in because there were some parts of shawlography that I was not super thrilled with. But yeah, so I'm very excited to get to work on that sometime soon, sometime in the near future. The other thing that I worked on this week was my sock. Y'all probably don't, most of y'all probably don't remember that I was even working on a sock because I started this sock sometime in 2020. This was when I really first started discovering hand-dyed yarns, and started really getting into knitting in a real way. It was sometime after I finished that roll of purple scarf. So it was when I was really relearning how to knit and really getting into the craft. So I started this sock. And this started as a Paisley Pearl class. And so this is Paisley Pearl yarn, paisleypearl.com, paisleypearlyarns.com. I'll put the link in the bottom. So this colorway is called Video Killed the Radio Star. It's fantastic. She does so many 80s inspired colorways that are just beautiful. You can still get this colorway. And I'm going to have to buy more of this because I love it. I might have to do a sweater. I might have to do a sweater in this color because I like it that much. So anyway, so I had started this sock, and up until this week, I had, for 2 years, I had this much of a sock. Because I started it and I did this accidental twisted rib because I wasn't knitting correctly. Like I didn't really know how to knit right. And I did this twisted rib accidentally when I was doing the regular rib, and I had been knitting and I was like, I need 6 inches of cuff. Like, oh my gosh, this is taking forever. And then I just put it away and never went back to it. It turns out the reason it was so difficult for me, the reason that I could only get that much of a sock before I got just fed up with it, was because my stitches were twisted incorrectly. They were in the wrong direction on my needles, and that's why it was so hard for me. So once I figured that out and got my stitches going in the right direction, it turns out it's a lot easier. Also, when I started, I was working with double pointed needles, which are not my favorite, especially for something this small, because it's hard to get my hands to work correctly. Everything's so small, and getting my hands to work and hold the needles and all that sort of stuff, it was not enjoyable. So I got a set of tiny circulars, which I'm using now, which I enjoy, and got my stitches going in the right direction, and then boom, I was off. And I was off so quickly and so easily that yesterday I got to the point where I could start the heel, and y'all, I made a heel. Look at that. I am inordinately excited with this heel because I never thought I would ever do a sock, and I never thought I could ever figure out a heel. So I'm like so excited. I can't even tell you. So I did this last night. It didn't take me hardly any time at all. This is using, I think it was Lisa Made For You Designs, EWE, which is the cutest thing ever. I love you. Jasmine over at Knitting Nurse was telling me about this short row sock that they prefer, and so I got that pattern and I was trying to read it, but it's so text dense. It's just like really, there's 9 pages of stuff before you even get to the actual pattern, and so I was struggling to be able to sit and focus enough to read it to understand what I needed to do. But I looked at the videos for the short row stitches, which are twin knits and twin purls. I had looked at those videos, and then Lisa at Made For You Designs, she shared a video class from Denise. I forget what Denise's channel name is. I will share the link down here. If I can remember all of these links that I'm telling you I'm going to share, I'll put them down there. But the video is fantastic. So I actually ended up, I was able to just sit with Denise's video and knit while she was showing me how to knit. And I made a heel. Like, just watching a 30-minute video, I made a heel. And this is actually called a shadow wrap. short row heel, I think is how she puts it. So it uses a combination of twin knits, twin purls, and then triple knits and triple purls, which I think is a little bit different than the pattern that which was socks therapy, I think is what Jasmine had shared with me. It's a little bit different than that, I think. I didn't actually get to reading the second half, so I know that Socks Therapy tells you to do the twin knits and twin purls to form the one side of the sock, but I'm not sure how they tell you to go down the other side. The Shadow Wrap heel, you do the twin knits and twin purls to get to the point, and then as you turn the heel and go over the other side, that's when you start forming triple knits and triple purls. Now I will say I messed up. Where is it? It's on this side. I messed up just a little bit because this is supposed to form a heel for you so that you don't have any holes. And I do have a hole, but that's because my very first twin purl I did wrong, and I didn't realize it until right at the end. So until I had gone back and actually started knitting the rest of my foot there. So by then it was way too late to go back. So I figure worst case, absolute worst case, I can take an extra length of yarn there and just sort of like sew it in to close up that gap if I need to. But that's totally on me. I did something wrong when I formed that first twin purl. But otherwise, it's fantastic. This is a fantastic heel. The only thing I will say, and I'll turn it inside out for you. So those triple knits and purls create a bit of a seam here. And I do wonder if that's going to end up being uncomfortable on the heel. We'll see. We'll see. I do think that the pattern that Jasmine showed me, I think it's a flatter finish. At least it looks like it in the picture. So I think it must finish off in such a way that you don't have that much on the back of the seam. So I'm curious to see. So I've already done this version, obviously, on this sock. So when I go to make the second sock, I'll do the same Shadow Wrap heel. But after that, because there will be more socks, after that I'm going to do a toe up sock, and probably forevermore I will do toe up socks for a lot of different reasons, because now I know that the superior method of constructing a sock is toe up for so many reasons. Anyway, so the next set of socks that I'll do toe up, and I'll try the method that Jasmine shared with me, and we'll see which one I prefer. Now Denise in her video said she did prefer this way because it takes out some steps compared to a short row pattern that she had used previously. So we'll see. But like I say, I do wonder because sometimes seams are sensory issues for me. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so I have the better part of a sock, y'all. The better part of a sock. I just have to figure out now. So I know that I'm going to be knitting a bunch of rows for a bit, because I need to create the foot now. And then I just have to figure out how I do the toe on a cuff down sock. And I'm hoping that I can use a method similar to this heel method. And I just then have to figure out how to close up the toe. Because I know I could create a toe this way, the same way. It's just a matter of figuring out like how do I close it. All right, which might be Kitchener stitch. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out. I will use the Googles. The Googles will tell me how to do it. And if the Googles doesn't specifically, I'm sure YouTube will tell me how to do it, one way or the other. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I really never thought I would finish the sock. I never thought I'd enjoy sock knitting. I kept thinking, why do people like socks so much? They're so tedious. They're so annoying. But once you're doing it right, it turns out once you're doing it right, it's actually super fast. So I've only put a few hours into this, and I've gone from half of a cuff here to all of this, all of that. So yeah, yeah, I might be a sock knitter now, y'all. I might be. We'll see. So that's the most exciting thing that's happened this week. Other than my Patreon support for my dyed fabrics. That was pretty exciting too. So yeah. But I think that's me this week. Y'all can probably tell that I'm feeling significantly less stressed. Like I have a lot of stuff I want to do this weekend, but I'm not pressuring myself, and I don't feel so just wound up and like, so so yeah, definitely a much better week. Yeah, the work week was significantly less stressful this week. I did not have 12 meetings like I did last week, so that's a big part of it. But also, I had time to actually sit down and do the work that needed to get done instead of just being in meetings for 3 days and not having time to do anything. So just a whole different vibe this week compared to last week, and I'm so very thankful for it. I'm so thankful for all of you who wished me a less stressful week, and who were thinking about me and hoped that things would get easier for me. I appreciate you all. I see you. I thank you. It's definitely been a better week. I think I've been on a bit of a roller coaster for a lot of different reasons. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world that is incredibly concerning and stressful and difficult to deal with. And I haven't been talking about it, not because I don't think about it and not because I'm not trying to do anything about it, but just because I don't have the bandwidth to also champion all of those things all of the time. But know that I'm not unaware of those issues. I have spoken out about many of those issues already. I'm just not right now because that's what is better for me. So yeah. But yeah, so that's, all of that stuff going on has definitely been a huge factor in the amount of stress. Work has been a huge factor in the amount of stress and difficulty that I've been dealing with. But I think in addition to all of that, because I was concerned that my meds were not working as well, because one of the big things they do for me is sort of reduce and remove that anxiety that is part of my ADHD, that is that little voice in my head that says, you have 5 million things you need to get done and you need to do them all right now. That like super sense of urgency and fear that things won't get done and fear that things will be not done correctly, and all that sort of stuff. And I was having lots and lots and lots of anxiety, like much more anxiety than I have dealt with in several months. And I was very concerned that it was because my meds were not working as well. But I think the conclusion I've come to at this point is that it's not a meds issue. I think it's actually a hormonal issue, because one of the things I have learned over the last couple of years is that hormones and the hormone cycle, for folks that have ovaries, hello. Those hormones really do play havoc with ADHD. ADHD is incredibly affected and exacerbated. Symptoms are incredibly affected and exacerbated by ovarian hormones like estrogen and progesterone and stuff. And so the hormone fluctuation can actually really F with your head when you have ADHD or other types of neurodivergencies. And I think when I'm thinking back about it, like a lot of the things that were going on, I think that the issue was more hormonal, or I think there were a lot of things going on. I know there were a lot of things going on, but I think on top of that, the hormonal shifts, because I've been experiencing a lot of changes in that whole cycle, I think the hormonal shifts have really been exacerbating my ADHD symptoms. And I think that's why I'm having so much, or have had so much, breakthrough anxiety, especially because in the last couple of weeks, in addition to anxiety, and it was mostly anxiety in February, the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of like out of proportion emotional responses. And I don't know how to explain it any better than that, but just like emotional responses to things that were just way bigger than probably they would have been at any other time. So I'm really thinking that it's the hormones that have really been just sort of mucking up everything. And I'm feeling much more like myself now, since last weekend, feeling much saner, much calmer, much more centered. And I don't know that it's just the shift in workload and stuff like that. I think it's more than that. And I have been investigating those things with my doctor, but a lot of the answer, unfortunately, is your hormones are out of whack. Take more hormones. It's not really something that has worked for me so far. So, yeah, so we'll see. Part of my hope is that I'm starting to enter menopause and that I'm in this perimenopause phase. And that's why some of these things are just so like messing with me so badly. No, ma'am. And that if that's the case, then eventually eventually it'll rectify itself, because eventually I'll go through menopause and then it won't be an issue anymore. Yeah. So menstruation is definitely a subscription I would like to cancel. I'm done. I'm done. So yeah, and the whole hormonal cycle, I'm just over it. Over it. Anyway, apologize if that was TMI. It's just what's going on. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. Let me let you go. I need to go so I can get involved in other things, and so I can get this processing and uploading and doing all the stuff. Momo has now settled in the tissue paper. I hope your week has been good for you. I hope that you're having the best day that's available to you, the best week that's available to you, the best month, weekend, everything that's available to you. And remember, like I always say, make sure to stay hydrated, make sure to take all of your meds, and remember that you are enough. I'll see you again next time.